sitting here like a bunch of amateurs, which we are. But there's nothing wrong with that.
I would say seasoned amateurs.
We've been doing this for a while.
Right.
We've had a show that shall not be named on this channel. And, of course, we're minus John, no Showtime Hughes.
Right.
I don't know where you are, John, and you missed out on this one. So, Thursday night, we're going to try to do these videos more and more often, maybe even do a live segment on Facebook.
Yes, sir.
I've got the Facebook page going. I've got the new channel on YouTube. And, I mean, that's pretty much it. We're still trying to get everything, designed right. Obviously, we're not expecting to do anything with this. It's more of for fun for us.
Yes, sir.
So sadly, that means that there's not going to be a steady stream of videos coming or stuff. But we do have a group pick'ems contest that we like to do every week. You guys are more than happy to have you guys join us. It's on poolhost.com. If you are familiar with the website, hit us up for the information. Just comment below, and we'll make sure that you get that.
Yes, sir.
Thursday night. Obviously, I guess I expected a little bit more fireworks. With the way that Kansas City could score, I figured this might be a little bit of a scoring fest. But I keep forgetting about how the Chargers picked up Khalil Mack, and that defense is no joke.
J.C. Jackson for the Patriots.
They're holding Kansas City pretty good.
Yep. So with Patrick, everybody failed to realize Patrick Mahomes had an awesome offensive line his first couple of years. So the line deteriorated starting with that loss with Tampa Bay a couple of years back. Was it 2 years ago? So with that loss, and then they lost two key offensive linemen in the offseason, I think that same year or this following year. So a lot of that stuff plays a role. They don't really have a really solid running game. I mean, you have an elusive back in Edwards-Helaire, but you don't have somebody that's like a Derrick Henry, or not necessarily Derrick Henry, but like somebody that
Well, Derrick Henry is a perfect example because he's a solid every down back.
Right.
Not everybody has that. I mean, I guess. Even Zeke was that at one point in time, and even at what do you think? Give him credit for 50% of Zeke? I mean, maybe even a little bit better than 50%.
Even if they have 50% of, I would say just 50% of Zeke. They don't have that. They don't have a power running game. They have an elusive running game. Everything's based on the trickery of, hey, let me see if I'm gonna act like I'm gonna throw it, but I'm gonna throw it to the back, check it down to the back, kind of stuff. And that stuff works every now and then. But if that's your whole run game, then yeah, you're not gonna. But either way, with the Chiefs, with the loss of Tyreek Hill,
huge hole.
Tyrann Mathieu, all these other guys, the team looks different, and they're more prone to losing at this point.
Well, I still give them credit for being able to put up some points. However, they are going to have to re-scheme. It'd be the way they're going to have to get used to the talent that they have and find a way to use them like they were. They're definitely going to do it. 18 weeks, right? 17 games. This is only game number 2. They still have a huge amount of season left.
But then let's not take credit from let's take no credit away from the Chargers. They loaded up.
And
they have a defense
running too.
The defense, they have everybody on every single level. They have somebody on the defensive line. They have somebody on the linebacking core, and they have a good secondary. And then let's switch over to the offensive side. Everything has improved. Herbert's more falling into that leadership role. You can see he's taking more shots down the field. He's trusting the receivers. He's getting the ball in the right spots. As far as deep balls, play action seems to be good.
Ooh, that's a good play.
It's just, and then and also it looks like they're buying in what the coach is selling. So yeah, Kansas City, the Chargers are a team to look at.
And I don't know if we emphasize it enough during our little NFL, guesswork earlier. The AFC West is by far one of the toughest divisions because everyone's improved.
Right.
Kansas City's not a slouch. They're going to be able to score at will. Chargers are probably the best all-around team with all the components, defense and offensive weapons. And then you still have, Russell Wilson coming into Denver. Yep. They're a solid team. And then you have the Raiders that you really can't sleep on because they're a good team. I actually feel sorry for any team that's got the AFC West on their lineup.
Right. And then also we might see. I'm gonna go out and say we might see two teams from this. Two, if not three teams coming out of the division in the playoffs.
If that happens with the AFC West, it'll be the first time in a long time that I remember.
Because I'm accounting for the AFC South, and I'm accounting for AFC East.
Well, because of the additional team, right? 7, right? That could definitely be a possibility because that, like you said, the South, one team's coming out of there,
right? The East is one team, Bills.
Yep. So that leaves an opening for the other two.
Yeah, I'm just don't because any other league. I mean, if you go AFC North,
I give credit for the Steelers stepping up, and depending on if the Cincinnati Bengals can bounce back, Lamar Jackson and the Ravens are going to be trying to sneak into that other spot. I mean, they're the favorites, I think, right now.
Yeah, they are.
With the question marks around the Browns and, of course, now Cincinnati. I mean, Steelers, were they the only ones that won? No, because Cleveland won, right?
Cleveland won, and the Steelers
won. So
no, I think the Ravens won.
And the Ravens won.
I think they did.
Well, I have it right here. Yes, they beat the Jets.
Yeah.
Decisively.
So only what team would do?
Only Cincinnati?
Only Cincinnati lost because they played the Steelers, yeah. But he had 5 sacks. I mean, he had 5 interceptions, though.
Yeah, apparently I heard that there was a lot of turnovers.
There was a lot of turnovers on his part.
Well, I mean, and of course, this is technically Burrow's
second year,
right? So,
but I mean, he didn't do well.
I don't know.
He didn't do that bad last year, though. So
no, he didn't.
Kind of like a
maybe this is like
sophomore slump.
That's what I'm thinking too, like the typical sophomore slump, which could be a good thing. The way he gets it done with and out of his system. But that's going to be tough for him to bounce back, though, with all that pressure.
Yeah, because they loaded up this year, too.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did. All right, so do you want to go ahead and do a recap from last week?
Sure.
Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and turn down the volume a little bit.
Hold on, let me go.
It shouldn't be a big deal with the microphones, but that way we won't have to raise our voices as loud. Okay, so last week, week 1, we were actually watching Bills in L.A., I have to admit, LA definitely disappointed. They were at home, Super Bowl champions, reigning champions getting knocked off week 1 on Thursday against the Bills. And we know that the Bills are hungry because they were one of the favorites from last year.
Right. I think that was expected. I was gonna go out on a limb and say it was expected. I didn't expect them to lose. I just did.
I expected to be closer.
Right. And I think what it was is it's like it's kind of like when you win the Super Bowl and you're not in a hurry to get back into that hunger mode.
Right.
And so you're just like, hey, I'm the Super Bowl champion. We're going to do this.
They call it the Super Bowl hangover.
Right. And I think that's exactly what just happened to them. I think they let the moment go or let the moment of the Super Bowl get to their heads because the Bills, remember, the Bills were almost there with Kansas City.
Yep.
They almost were there. Yep. So they're hungry. They're starving. They showed it because they went out and got Von Miller, who was just on the Rams last year. So,
New Orleans at Atlanta. New Orleans pulled off a 1-point win over Atlanta, 27-26. I have to say, this is the one where it's like the bottom 2 teams are fighting. Obviously Matt Ryan's not there anymore. And even New Orleans, I mean, they're still trying to find identity. I think it was Jameis Winston still playing, right?
Jameis was playing, yes.
Yes. So, I mean, they were definitely probably more complete than the Atlanta Falcons. I don't know. I mean, 2 bottom teams fighting it out. I mean,
I expected more out of the Saints because we know Atlanta is got nobody there. The outside of Tyler Pitts, the tight end that they drafted. Outside of
that means it's just that we have to be suspect of the defense.
Yeah, New Orleans. I expected more.
Yep. Sorry. Cleveland at Carolina. That was the revenge matchup here. See if Baker could bounce back. Doesn't surprise me that it's close, and honestly, I think that's about as good of a win as you're going to get, especially week 1, new schemes, new offense, new coaching. I mean, Baker, I think he'll get them winning there toward the later end of the season, but I know that he wanted to get this to kind of like stick it to him, but it didn't happen.
I think that the Browns wanted to keep it close so they don't completely just destroy the man.
Oh, so it was a gift. It was a mercy slaying.
The Browns are too low of a team to sit there and struggle that badly to the Panthers. I'll leave it there.
I don't know. I like the Panthers' defense, and their offense, when healthy, is pretty stout. So, all right, next one was the San Francisco and Chicago, which this one surprised me because San Francisco's always been kind of in the mix. I know they had Trey Lance playing instead of Garoppolo because of the whole trading of Garoppolo and all that kind of stuff. But with the Chicago Bears, they just traded Trubisky to the Steelers. I really didn't expect too much out of them, and they surprised me winning 19-10.
The San Francisco has I'm not going to say they have a problem. They have a young QB.
Yep.
But at the same time, you should have prepared them to read defenses better than that game. It was apparent that he couldn't read defenses.
Oh, yeah.
So he was relying solely on his gifts, which is fine. It's just you also need to be able to see that they're scheming against you. So yeah.
But don't worry, San Fran. You guys don't stay at the bottom for very long. It'll take a little bit of what do they call that? Growing pains.
There's going to be a lot of them this year.
But I don't know. I give them maybe 4 or 5 teams.
Well, people
4 or 5 games, and they should be in there winning.
Well,
something.
people are going for his head right now. They're asking for Garoppolo, and I'm like,
really, Garoppolo back?
I'm just saying, give the kid at least a game, week 8, 9.
I mean,
something.
it's one game.
Yeah.
One game.
Yeah.
Give him another one. This one is actually interesting. Pittsburgh and Cincinnati. Cincinnati was the top dog last year of the division. Steelers come into Cincinnati and beat them 23-20. That one surprised me.
Yeah, this surprised all of us because I'm thinking that the Cincinnati was going to roll with this, but 5 interceptions, yeah, you're bound to lose a game. So,
yeah, I think we're seeing a legitimate sophomore slump with Burrow.
Oh yeah,
and don't worry, Cincy, he's going to bounce back. He's going to be your franchise QB. But this year, he's going to have some growing pains.
Yep.
I don't even know if I want to talk about this one. Philly and Detroit. I mean, we're talking about 30 points each team. I mean, probably the highest scoring game. Two crappy teams, exchanging punches. 38-35. I mean, and I expected Detroit to at least play some defense.
Well, so I'm
Sadly, I didn't watch it. Did you able to catch any highlights?
I caught a little bit. I'm a little biased because I've been watching Hard Knocks with the Detroit Lions, so I'm rooting for the Lions. So Philly loaded up this in the off season. They should have been a whole lot better, but because I've been watching Hard Knocks and I've actually been watching it every night, so yeah, I'm biased. I like what Dan Campbell's doing. I like how he's motivating the team. He's just making them believe they're winners, even though they may not have a star-studded team. Their mindset keeps them in the game, and that's why you saw that score.
Yeah.
So,
and I don't know. Like I said, by far the highest scoring game of the week. That just means their defenses have a lot of growing to do.
Yes, they do.
And of course, probably one of the most disappointing things in week 1 is settling for a tie. Colts come into town to Houston, yes, here in H-Town, and they settle for a tie week 1 against a team that shouldn't have won, in my opinion. Now, don't get me wrong, Houston. I know you guys are rebuilding, and you got a lot of good components, but the Colts were primed to take this one.
They were favored to win, but when you see that when we were watching the game, the Colts, they would get it. They would move it somewhat down. They would get it down the field a little bit, but the Texans defense actually stood up and held their own. It was the offense that struggled. Like Davis Mills, the thing I don't like about him is he's a young quarterback, but he holds on to the ball longer than he should. If you don't have it, throw it away or check it down. The back was open. Check it down. Live to fight another down. That's what you need to keep remembering. If once the defense starts seeing you checking it down, you will see your openings later in the game. But right now, you're trying to do the big play downfield. Stop. It's not going to work. Also in that game,
and which is odd because if Tom Brady has taught us anything, you have to take what they give you.
Take what they give you.
And so do the dink and dunk set up for the long ball.
Yes, sir.
And it's funny because you know it works because he's done it so many years.
He's done it for 20-something years.
And yet not too many people try to copy that.
Yep. And then also my little quick thing on the Texans, they led all the way to the fourth quarter. You allow the Colts to get back in the game, and then on the chance it was 4th and 3.
That just means that their defense is getting tired.
Yeah,
and
but
that
on
happens.
4th and 3, and this is my knock on Lovie Smith. I know you were trying to play it safe, going for the tie, but you were at 4th and 3. You were on their 20 or 30, if I remember. Go for it, because even if you get the stop right there at the 30, they still got to go back down the field.
And honestly, this is the problem with Texans. I think Lovie Smith is trying to protect. He knows it's kind of a rebuilding still,
Right.
And I think he's trying to protect what he has. So, and plus, it's not even his fault because who had the chance to get the win? It was the Colts, right?
Oh no, the Texans had the ball last.
Oh, okay. So
the Colts had it last. It was overtime. It was in overtime. So the Colts had the ball. The Texans had the ball last.
So yeah, there was no reason not to go for it.
Yeah, just go for it.
But anyway, let's go ahead and wrap up a couple more. I know you probably want to talk about the New England and Miami, which ironically enough, everybody knows he loses at least once in Miami.
We always remember last year last year we lost to Miami. The year before we lost to Miami.
In Miami. Always in Miami.
Miami is our bane.
Do you think Belichick's just afraid of hurricanes?
Probably, but it's just whatever it is in the Miami, they got our number, and that's just what it is.
It's the humidity.
It's got to be because because they're a northern team. Yeah,
and basically I'm going to go through these real quick because some of them aren't really even that worth the mention. Baltimore did what they needed to do against the Jets.
Yep.
The Washington Commanders beat Jacksonville, although that was a lot closer than I believe should be. The Giants beat the Tennessee Titans, which obviously
was a shocker.
That was a shocker, not expected. Kansas City did what they normally do, outscore Arizona, although that makes me a little disappointed in Arizona's defense. Well, sorry, JJ, but I know that they were missing people too.
Yeah, remember Chandler Jones went to the Raiders. They lost key pieces. You can't lose key pieces and hope to be the same. It's not going to work. You see what happens in Green Bay.
Raiders went to the L.A. Chargers and lost. Chargers took care of business 24-19. That was a little closer than I thought it would be, but that just shows you how good the Raiders are becoming.
And the West is. How good the AFC West is.
Green Bay and Minnesota. You've been calling this from the game one. And, of course, and you even said it. Now that Devontae Adams is gone, watch. Rodgers going to suffer. Now, I said, and we're going to see if my thing is true, I said give him time. It's just a matter of time before he develops a rapport with other receivers. I give him 3 more weeks. He's going to pull out some wins. Be patient.
I'm not saying he's not going to win. I'm saying Vikings got the division.
He's going to struggle. Yeah, I think
Vikings got the division.
With that first win for week 1, and they're definitely a favorite in week 2, if I'm not mistaken. Mm-hmm. Vikings are the team to watch in the NFC North. Tampa Bay, Dallas. Do we need to talk about that one?
Yeah.
No,
we expected.
We don't need.
We don't need to talk about it, but we expected the Bucs to win. Period.
And Monday Night Football, I was a little disappointed. I wanted Russell Wilson to get a little bit of revenge, but Seattle manages to pull it off, 17-16. Seattle at home. Russell Wilson, I got your back for this week.
You can tell in that game. You can tell that. You can tell that the Seahawks wanted that game more. Russell Wilson was comfortable where he's in his new situation with his new money, and you could tell that the Seahawks wanted that. And possibly, I'm not gonna sit there and say Russell Wilson threw a game, but he probably had a little soft spot for him.
I mean, and once again, Russell Wilson to Denver, new team, new schemes, new coaches. I mean, there's a little bit of a learning curve there. Now, watch Denver. You guys are going to be one of the top spots here leading into the playoffs, just like the Chargers, just like KC, and maybe even the Raiders. We'll see. I think the AFC West is the best team, but keep an eye on them because Russell Wilson is not done yet.
I'm just saying, 4th and 5, you take the ball out of your star quarterback's hands. You paid $200-something million to give it to the kicker that had to kick it over. I think it was like 50 or 60 yards.
Yeah.
And
not to mention the QB that's familiar with that terrain.
Exactly.
Familiar with that team and terrain. Yeah. Anyway, so that wraps up week 1. Week 2, we're in third quarter here of the Chargers at Chiefs. And the Chargers are actually leading 17-7. But once again, can't sleep on Kansas City. They can score pretty much at will, even minus Tyreek Hill. So we're going to have to be careful. The defense is going to have to play up, and this one's going to be a hard fight, especially in Arrowhead.
Their defense needs to hold up. You can see they're starting to get laxed up.
Yeah,
they're starting to back up a
get
little
tired
bit.
too. I mean, halfway through third quarter, the true test is, of course, whether or not the Chargers can monopolize game time when they have the ball.
Yeah.
If you got the lead, grind the clock down, and I don't think that they're built for that.
No.
So this is going to be probably down to the wire. Casey's not out of it. All right. Week 2. I mean, do you want to just cover some highlight games that we're looking at, or do you want to cover all of them? How do you want to do this?
Just ones I guess we like in particular.
Miami-Baltimore is intriguing to me. I think this will say a lot about both teams. As long as it's close, that means both teams are primed for a good run this season. If it's lopsided, then that means that team is not prepared. Cleveland's going to get another win, right? Because they beat Carolina. It's the New York Jets. Washington and the Detroit Lions. That one, as much as I want to say I could predict that one.
Detroit's going to win.
I think Detroit at home.
Detroit.
I mean,
Detroit. Like I said, I'm biased because I watched the Hard Knocks, so.
Well, and of course it's Washington too, and I mean we just talked about how they were like Indy and Jacksonville. Sorry, Jacksonville, and he's gonna want blood because they had to kiss their sister and get the tie with Houston.
Right.
Jacksonville in Jacksonville.
Everybody's
Indy's coming for you.
Straightforward.
Tampa Bay at New Orleans. I mean,
Tampa Bay.
2 road games in Dallas and now in New Orleans. I mean,
Tampa Bay's going to win.
Yeah, we saw what New Orleans and Atlanta did. Tampa Bay is going to take that one. Carolina Giants. I would actually have to say I'll flip a coin on that one.
Yep.
I'm going to lead toward the Giants because of the win they had last week. Atlanta at the Rams. This one, watch the Rams. Super Bowl champs got hit hard in the face Thursday. They've had an extra long work week. They're going to be prepared. They're going to take down Atlanta. Should be a good watch because that one's going to be if I'm right, it's going to be a decisive win, not a squeak by win.
I will say the 2 games I'm looking at is the Texans and Denver. I have confidence in Texans to win that one because I didn't like how Denver looked this past game. I understand they have growing pains because it's a new team, new offense, and And then also the second game, it would be Minnesota and the Eagles. The Eagles did load up, but I have confidence in the Vikings to pretty much get deep into the playoffs.
So another one that I'm looking for, Cincy at Dallas. Dallas got beat at home. Cincy got beat at home.
Right.
So this is going to be somebody's going to be up for
winning.
revenge.
Dallas is
outside of that, Green Bay to bounce back against Chicago on Sunday night. And Monday we got a doubleheader. Buffalo over Titans and Minnesota over Philly, which you already said.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. So that kind of gives you a little bit of a recap of week 2. Thanks for watching us. Thanks for subscribing. And
like, share, and subscribe.
Talk to you later.